Hey, my name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and welcome. We're going to look at three types of barks. We're going to look at pine, birch, and then oak. These are three common textures, and I'm going to show you how to draw them. Let's start off with this pine tree here, or the sugar pine, and let's just come in here with the sides of this trunk here. And what I want you to do is when you draw this, I want you to be aware of this idea. The areas that are in between the bark there. Start thinking about this bark by adding small strokes. And we want to break these up. Just you can look at the picture and just kind of get an idea as they get closer to the edge, they get a little bit closer together. Some strokes are longer. And you can even see some of these will go straight up the tree as a pattern. But you want to have all these little small, shorter strokes. But as I get to the edge here, you can see that I'm bringing my lines a little bit closer together. So that's the first thing that you want to do. And you really want to pay attention to, oh, that was the cat there. You want to pay attention to the bark, all right? So that's step one. All right, next what we want to do is then we're going to come in here and add these different we're going to start adding like diagonal lines a little bit that connect these. All right, so you see what I'm doing. I'm just slowly connecting these different squares now. And then the last step would be to come in here and I can add shadow or really start to think of the thickness that's in between some of these. It's just a process. Like anything else, you know, this is, I think, where drawing gets to be, well, if you don't have to draw 1,000 trees like this, it's kind of enjoyable. Of course, if you're doing a book that might be all about in the woods and you might end up having to do this for weeks, that would get pretty monotonous. All right, so the last thing I want to do, I'm going to add some tone to the side of this tree here. This is going to help to add to the roundness of my tree. And I know it's not in the picture, but just by adding some tone on the sides of these branches, this trunk will help to make it seem like it's round. And even on the very edge here, I don't want this line to be perfectly smooth. I'm gonna break it up with a little texture because that is the way that this trunk is, you see. All right, so there's a sugar pine for you. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up our next picture. These are more of an aspen tree. So there's the width of my trunk there, and we'll put another guy in the back here, a little skinnier, right? And then another guy back here maybe. Now these guys have some nice shadow to add a little tone on my drawing where some of the shadow might be before I start adding detail. Okay. It's a good place to start some tone. Okay, so in this case, these guys, let's just say this is going to be my tree trunk. The rings that are looking right at me are going to be straight, but then as they start to get higher up, we're going to start getting these surface lines that this bark goes around. Look at this down here. It's starting to go around. So we want to be aware of that. That's going to help give it dimension. Let's start down here in the middle and just, let's put a couple lines in here so we really can really get a sense of what's above our eye line and what's below. Come on, let's get some of this negative shape in here. So there I'm curving it just a little bit. Really trying to look for that variety. Variety is the key. Stay away from pattern. All right, here's one. Let's get this other one. Let's go a little bit further back now and get this other one in. Again, I'm going to kind of establish where my eye line is. And then slowly add surface lines so that I have a sense of what's below and what's above. You really have to pay attention to get your lines to go around the trunk. Branches coming out, and when I draw those, I push down, I pull up. So 1, 2, 3. One thing you want to avoid when you're drawing branches, you don't want to do this sort of thing, where you got them coming out at the same point. Though that happens, I just think it's far more interesting to go opposites just a little bit. It makes for a better drawing. Get some nice silhouettes on the side of your tree there. Oh, this is a happy accident that just happened. Look at this. I'm gonna point this out with an arrow here so you can see what accidentally happened. I've got this great reflective light happening there. So look at this. Let's try and recreate that. Let's recreate that right here, okay, with intention. So I'm going to come in here with a little bit of dark value. And then I'm going to jump into the background here and make sure, or just thicken up the side of the line there, you see? Okay, so there you go. That adds some really cool, and you can even look at this. Bring this out as branches that are coming up along the side there. Woo! That's pretty neat looking, huh? All right, that's birch. This one is an oak tree because it has all kinds of great looking knots on it. So let's with getting an overall containment line, right? Coming down here. This is kind of like a gesture. Okay, so this tree looks like it has 3 big chunks to it. So you're gonna kind of get one here, and then maybe smaller one like this. Look at that. So look at these. This is variation. This is important. Look at the variation in width there to that, and then a little bit smaller. You see, I'm kind of thinking through this. This is what I need you to do, is to concentrate of getting variation. Branches coming over here. Now, in this case, I want you to think of bark cascading down. All right, it's a little bit of a combination of both. So what we have here is maybe it's coming around like that, you see? And it cascades down, and I'm thinking surface lines here. All right. It's also going across the surface. Look at this. This all could be in shadow back here because it's on the outside of the tree. This could be shadowed. Okay, this side over here is much lighter. Do you see that? Look at that. That's lighter. This is darker. This is a good tree to practice that on. Let's get our tone right. If we get our tone right, that's gonna tone and value. I use those very interchangeably. There's a Y, and this branch is going off in this direction. I'm kind of jumping all over my tree here because I want to bring it up at about the same time. This branch is going off in the distance back there. You see this? Overlap. More tone. More tone. Think of cascading down water. Where is that water going? Slowly working this, I'm going across it and down it. So just continue working, working this up and down and going across, adding your darks and lights. And this brings our video to the end. I hope you enjoyed drawing this oak tree. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and check out these other videos. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.